So this is your Meso-Melt Infusion System. What you get in the box is 3 of the Pep8 stem cell serums. You also get the roller handle and 3 individually packed needling tips. To assemble it's really easy. You can take your needling tips and you just tear off through the perforated edge. Then take your needling tip casing and you just peel off the top, and inside is the needling tip. This has those sort of almost 4,000 needles made of hyaluronic acid, peptides and lots of active ingredients to really get that into the skin. Take your roller handle and then, without touching the needling tip, you can literally just push and snap it onto the top of the roller. Then take it out of the casing and then you've got your device ready to use. So this will be familiar to you if you're used to sort of doing needling, derma rollering, anything like that. The difference is it's not the stainless steel needles, but these are all solidified active ingredients, low and high molecular weight hyaluronic acid, platinum matrix, and 3 other peptides to really smooth, rejuvenate, stimulate the skin. So first of all, you would cleanse the face. We would do that with Ultimate Cleanse. Maybe sweep liquid facial resurfacer over, which will really kind of purify everything on the skin. And then you need to make sure your skin is really dry and ready to roll. We're then going to use the roller over the whole face. You can go onto the eyelids, you can go underneath the eyes, you can do the neck and onto the décolleté as well. You can focus on areas particularly where you've got any scarring, deeper lines, maybe pigmentation, any areas that you feel that need more improvement. You can roll that area a bit more. The key thing to needling devices and to rolling is to make sure that you do it in as many different directions as possible. If you look very closely at any kind of roller, you see lines of the needles. Now there are almost 4,000 needles on this, so there are a lot. They're going to cover a lot of little tiny micro punctures in a small area. But the more you move it about on the skin, the more you're going to get that random sort of penetration. So you can start off literally, I'm going to do it that way around. You can start off literally by rolling. I would use quite a firm pressure. Now I've been doing microneedling for probably over 10 years, so I would go really quite firmly. But if you're completely new to microneedling, this is a great device for you to use because you won't over needle. It's comfortable. It makes painless micro channels in the skin, but you should see the skin getting red. You should be able to see now on my forehead that there's some reddening coming to the skin, stimulating of blood flow. We want to get that. It's going to feed all the nutrients around the skin. And the more sort of gentle trauma you can create, the more collagen wound healing occurs in the skin as well, which leads to the kind of tightening and plumping. I'm just going to stop to show you. You can see how there are some red patches coming up on the skin. You can see this reddening. So don't be afraid if this happens when you're doing your microneedling. This is what you should see on the skin. You can also stretch the skin and go right underneath the eyes. If you've got lines and crow's feet, if you've got expression lines that form over time, you can also roller into those. And again, keep it moving in different directions as much as possible. Remembering that the whole time that you're rollering, these needling tips are those active ingredients. So going down into the microchannel in the skin, 0.2 millimeters depth. So this is very surface penetration. Getting down through that, you've then got those needling tips with the peptides, hyaluronic acid in the skin. So really to work on rejuvenation. Always good to do across the eyelid. We get very crepey here, and also we lose a lot of collagen here as well. It's good to stretch up the eyebrow and really get underneath this area here. Again, working in the corner of the eyes because we've got peptides in here that really target puffiness, dark circles. So this is eyes and face. And then you're going to really just roll, making sure you cover everything. One of the things I see a lot also is people kind of forgetting the outside of the face. Try to work as close to the hairline as you can, because actually quite often over years, you see a lot of sun damage in this kind of real line on the outside of the face because people don't apply sun cream or their daily protection, daily SPF right up to the edge. So that means that you can also go over the earlobes as well. So try and do this without wearing any earrings, because earlobes do age. They lose collagen, they lose structure, they start to get longer. Again, you can work as many different areas as possible. Try not to drag it as you're rolling it, but try to just get yourself into as many areas as possible. Roll quite quickly. Now you're going to do this for about 10 minutes. I'm probably not going to make you watch me do the whole 10 minutes. It might be a bit boring. Maybe it'll be useful. You can go into the sides of the nose. If you've got open pores, this is great. Make sure you do the bridge of the nose. Upper lip. So when you've reached your 10 minutes and you've rolled everywhere, all the eye area, the whole face, the neck if you want to, décolleté if you want to, backs of hands if you want to. Once you've done your 10 minutes of rolling, you then take your Pep8 stem cell serum ampule and just make sure that all of the liquid is down in the bottom of the ampule. If this is full, if there's any stuck up here, just flicking it should release it down to the bottom. It's got a nice viscosity to it. It's got really high concentration of hyaluronic acid in there. Take a tissue, because this is glass. It will break at the line here, and just to avoid cutting yourself, just use a tissue to break that off. And then you take your ampule and you're going to spread this all over the face. You can take this around the eye area, you can take it on the eyelids. Now when you put this on after needling, as with any single product after needling, it might smart a little bit. You might think, oh, it's stingy. It's not a stingy serum, it's because it's actually dropping through all of those microchannels that you've just created. So it doesn't matter what you would put on after microneedling, it will always have a little bit of a zingy effect, but it shouldn't feel sore or burning. So I just want to get this all over onto the eyelids, down the neck, onto the earlobes if you've done the earlobes, and onto the décolleté if you've done the décolleté as well. Then once this is on the skin, you're just going to let it just sink in a tiny bit. Make sure the skin is still wet, because the second phase of the treatment, to fully dissolve the needles, we need to have this serum here, because this serum is now going to activate the needles even further. So now once this is sort of sat in, it's gone a little bit tacky, I'm now going to roll again all over the face, and what you feel now is you feel the needles completely dissolving. So they've been working into the skin throughout the whole needling process, and now you're actually releasing the last bit with this activation. You can then use the roller literally to sort of almost massage that stem cell serum into the skin. It feels really nice. The serum actually feels quite cooling. Also, all of this kind of activity is going to help to get that serum right through those microchannels, deep down into the skin, getting down to that depth where we can release more of these active ingredients to give us the rejuvenating effect on the skin. If you are doing this at home and you love 3D moisture infusion, you can pop that on top. So again, you get all of the soothing, the hyaluronic from that mask. We would do that in the treatment room. So anyone that comes for facials in the clinic will know that we always put 3D moisture infusion on. So you can do that as well. And crucial thing as well is to wear SPF when you're doing this treatment, because you are creating small wounds on the skin. You're creating those microchannels, and so you want to make sure that the skin is protected. You can do that with Skin Insurance. We've got SPF 30 and we've got SPF 50. Simple, easy to use, really intensive treatment. You get within the box 3 treatments, so it's a 21-day program, so you're going to do this once a week and then maintain with your skincare in between. And devices have become such an important thing for people recently, particularly through this year, because obviously we're at home a lot, clinics have been shut, people are looking for something to make themselves feel better. And actually what we're always doing at Sarah Chapman is we're always looking at how do we bring a piece of the treatment room to people at home in between their treatments, or if they can never come for treatments. So our facial lift massager, the Pro Pore Refiner, our Pro Hydra Mist Steamer, and now the Meso-Melt Infusion System are those brilliant at-home systems and devices that can bring you sort of professional advice and treatments at home to enable you to be able to give yourself a real rejuvenation.